Hi, I go by the name of Podgy. You're looking for a job, looking for work. Let's get straight to it, people. I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and I want to thank everybody that's been watching my channel. However, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you to press that like button. Hi, I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and today we will be doing a deep dive on how you can own your own franchise. If you saw the last podcast, I had a guest on there called Sinbad, and he bought into his franchise called Amigos that's based in Southall. So today we will be doing a breakdown on how you can own your own franchise. When I say we, I've got a guest with me today. She goes by the name of Ebony. How are we doing, Ebony?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Podgy?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. So tell us a bit about yourself, Ebony.
So my name's Ebony Bain. I'm a published author and entrepreneur. I'm the founder of Planet Well BD, which is a business development consultancy, and I'm the co-founder of 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿, the career development platform that brings you career development and networking events across the country.
Nice. So let's get straight to it. All right, then, how do you buy a food franchise in the UK if you don't have any money? If you don't have any money. So the first thing that comes to mind is savings. So you'd save up some money, and as Sinbad said on the last podcast, he borrowed money from friends, he borrowed from family, and he got a loan. What's your thoughts on getting a loan?
So the short answer is you need to keep your credit good, because I think life in the UK, especially life in London, is so expensive. So having a large sum of money and having that capital ready to go into a franchise is extremely difficult if you don't have access to finance. So you need to keep your credit good. However, I don't actually think anybody should be going into franchise if you don't have access to finance.
Okay.
I think if you are having to borrow money from friends and family, I think there are easier businesses models to do. There's easier business models.
But once if you got this passion, like you saying, like, man, I want to get a KFC, I wanna own my own McDonald's.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to get it off your chest. I get it. You had this dream since you were a child. You just want to own a McDonald's, and if that's your dream, that should be on your shoulders. You need to make sure you have that capital.
Yeah.
I don't think that you should borrow money from friends and families for the sake of a dream.
I hear. All right then. What are the real startup costs of owning a fast food franchise? So they say it starts from 10K to 40K, 50K to 150K. I think when they're using those kind of numbers, I think it's like a 10K might be like a smaller franchise, for instance. I'm just saying off the top of their head, maybe like a chicken cottage or something like that. And I think like 150K might be the high end, or maybe a Subway or something like that. What's your thoughts on them prices, Ebony?
I think you're right. I think you get what you get out what you put in.
Yeah.
So if your capital is low and your investment is low, the returns are going to be low. I think the startup cost is going to reflect how established the brand is.
Yeah.
And the more established the brand is, the easier it is to market, the easier you can get your name out.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the more established the brand is it will help you, because as we were saying before, off camera, is like sometimes people trust a name, or are familiar with a name. If we use KFC, they might say, oh, I know KFC, I've eaten in there before, something maybe I can trust. So that's maybe a good thing looking into it. All right then. Is owning a franchise safer than starting a business from scratch? How you feel about that?
I'm a business developer by heart. That's what I've done for the past 2 decades, and I'm always going to support starting a business from scratch.
Yeah.
I think the good thing about a franchise is that it's like a business on stabilizers.
Okay.
You have a tried and tested model, you have an established brand, and you've got a whole team behind you that have got the research in place.
Yeah.
However, at the same time, they're running a business as well.
Mm.
And you are their customer.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily doing what's best for you. They're
Yeah.
doing what's best for them as a business owner. And that always needs to be considered.
Yeah.
And it depends, you know, what type of leader are you? Are you an innovator or are you a manager? Because if
Okay.
you're a manager, franchise model is perfect. They're going to give you a method that you're going to carry out.
Yep.
But if you're an innovator and you want to do your own thing and you want to make your own decisions and you want to shop around and get the best deal,
Yep.
a franchise is going to drive you crazy.
Yeah. 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 I agree with what you're saying. It's got a proven system already.
Exactly.
So like it is an easier way of actually doing things. Starting up your own one is that has to be in you, because it's like there's going to be there's a lot of bumps in the roads anyway, but starting up your actual own like business and your own name on it and getting people to trust that, yeah, it's definitely a different journey.
It definitely is a different journey.
Yeah. Okay, what's the mindset shift is needed to go from an employee to a franchise? Like, what's the mindset?
I think a lot of the time when people go into franchising, they're assuming that this is going to be easy passive income. And it's not. A franchise is going to take the same amount of work as setting up a business from scratch.
Yeah.
Because the business owner is always the last person to be paid.
Yeah.
And there are lots of hidden fees and hidden costs within a franchise that need to be considered.
Yep.
So until that franchise is established, you are going to be working 7 days a week. You're going to be doing long hours. You're not going to be able to spend the same amount of time with your children and your families as you're used to.
Yep.
So that needs to shift, because time is gone. That is the number one thing you are going to sacrifice in any kind of business is your time.
Yeah. And she said it best. So with a franchise, you can't say, because I got the franchise now, I've gone clear. I think that's when the work starts. Yeah, the work starts. So look into it. If it's something you want, it's attainable, but look into it and understand there's going to be long days, and you know what I mean, there's going to be frustrating times, but it is possible. How long does it take to make a profit from a franchise? So Sinbad had an interesting journey. So he had a lot of his glory days in the COVID. He made a lot of money in the COVID. He explained the businesses around him closed down, so he got to have a good run. But basically, it took him 18 months to 2 years to make any money. How do you feel about that?
I think it probably depends on a few things. It's going to depend on how established the franchise is you're buying into.
Yeah.
It probably depends on what was the capital that you initially invested. And it depends on the hidden fees and the hidden costs of that particular franchise.
Yeah.
Because that's some of the things that we don't hear about. And that may be something that we need to discuss a bit further.
Yeah, yeah. There is some hidden costs that, yeah. But you know, he said another thing as well, what helped him is him being a bit naive, as in he was learning on the way. How do you feel about that?
I think it's okay to learn on the way when you invested 10 grand.
Yeah.
When you invested 100 grand, you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's serious debt. That's life-changing debt. So learning on the way can sometimes break you quicker.
Yeah.
And we're all learning. Even some of us that have been in this for 20, 30 years, you go into a new job, you go into a new business, a new franchise, it's a new market, it's a new demographic. And then times are changing, trends are changing, marketing is changing, the internet is changing, people's wants and needs are changing. So we have to keep on learning. But there are some things that stay the same.
Yeah, there's like a fundamental foundation,
in it. Fundamental foundations that you need to know about. Yeah. And you can't mess up on the foundation.
Nah, you can't. You can't. You can't. All right, then. Can buying into a proven brand fast track a financial independency? So basically, like the question was asked is, so if I buy into a franchise, what's kind of proven, can it fasten the finances coming in? I don't believe so. I believe it's on you. It doesn't matter what you do. If it's a 9 to 5 or it's your own business, it's the amount of hours you're going to put in and how you're going to delegate your time to it. Yeah, how do you feel about that, Ebony?
I think it also depends on the market. I think a lot of the success stories we hear about are in America.
Yeah.
And America has a culture for advertising and marketing, because America was built on the back of a consumerism capitalist society.
Okay.
Where, you know, advertising, you know, they're founders of celebrities.
Yep.
Their success stories are promoted, and off the back of that, it helps to push a narrative that we don't have in England. You know, in America, they believe that you are what you buy. In England, it is more about relationship building and trust. So sometimes you can have, you know, KFC is a trusted brand. You know, KFC sells anywhere you go in the world. But I can still speak to people and say they only go to that KFC. They don't go to the one down the road because we need to trust you first.
Yes.
And England is very much like that.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, it's going to take you're going to have to build up the reputation of your branch, because we're very aware in the UK that that's a franchise and it's not the company. So we're very aware that the manager of that branch might not be as good as the manager down the road.
Yeah, you're right. And even the customer services
Yeah.
as well. Like, that's a big part as well. And I think people sleep on that because I think they feel like, yo, I'm gonna get my own franchise and have my own business. But really, if like you need the employees to understand that the customer service, because that's what people, you know what I mean, are paying for. As Sinbad was saying before, he kind of made his Migos more of a community vibe. So the community come in and if they're from the area, they get certain kind of discounts and certain vibes like that. So yeah.
Exactly. And the thing I like about the UK market as well is that every individual company, no matter whether you're a franchise or not, has its own health and safety rating, has its own compliance, has its own legislation. So we have things that we can look for when we walk into an establishment that can help us to trust that company more.
Yes, indeed. Another question is they've been asking: how do you know if a franchise opportunity is legit? What's your thoughts on it?
Okay, so do you know what it is? Everything is a gamble in business.
I believe so.
And you can have a really good franchise opportunity and still run it to the ground.
Yep, I believe
and
so.
then you can have, I know people that have franchises that they bought for £1,000.
Yep.
You know, and it might just be a vending machine or sweets.
Exactly.
You know, and they've made it into an established brand where they're paying their bills with it.
Yeah.
And somebody else will say, well, this was no good because they didn't help me with marketing, assuming that £1,000 startup was going to cover their marketing cost.
No,
it's what you make it.
I believe so as well. I know another franchise somebody bought into a clothing shop, and everybody told him it was a bad idea because he wasn't on a high street. He was on like a kind of like more of a side road where people kind of cut through. But the hours he put in and what he made it work it was unbelievable. So I believe it's all on you, as in, you know what I mean, the gamble's actually on you. So when people ask you if it's legit, you have to ask yourself, are you legit?
Are you going to put in the work? And good example that you just made, that particular clothing shop wasn't on a high road.
No.
One of my salons is not on a high road. It's actually in the middle of an estate behind the school.
Great. Yeah.
But the good thing we have nowadays is we have social media.
Indeed.
And social media means you can build up your client base from wherever you are. And as long as you're on Google Maps and people know how to get to you, they will find you if your product or service is good enough.
Oh, no, that's good to hear. So you have your own salon. Tell us a bit more.
I do. My salon brand is Braids and Beauty London.
Nice.
Both based in North London, Eglinton and Tottenham.
So braids and beauty.
Braids and beauty.
So I can go there and get some braids done.
Well, you can get some braids or locks or beauty service, and that's it. Nice. If you want a relaxer, a weave, a wig, we are not your place.
Okay.
Just braids, just braids. Locks, natural hair and beauty services.
Nice. What are the opening hours if I'm in that kind of area?
7 days a week, 10 till 10.
7 days a week?
7 days a week.
Easy enough. That's proper. That's proper. They asked as well, what roles does a discipline need? What kind of discipline do you need to have a franchise? I think we touched on this already.
Yeah.
As I said, it all falls on you. So, like, you can't be thinking, oh, because I got my own business, I'm sleeping until 1 today. Yeah. You got to be up the same time the cleaner's up. You got to be opening the door. You got to have an understanding on how the till works. If it's a grill, understand how the grill works. And you got to know all the moving parts. So I advise you, if you go there, don't be thinking, oh, it's just a manager role, I'm playing or I'm just running it. You've got to understand the whole of the business. So,
exactly. And it's a mindset change. because you have to learn how to make time work for you. And I think that my book is Losing Control to Gain Time. And it is about time management for entrepreneurs, people that have multiple agendas that they have to manage. And the difference between being an employee and being a business owner is that when you're an employee, time is linear. You can't start one task until you finish the one previous.
Nice.
So at the end of every day, the time is out.
Nice.
When you're a business owner, time runs parallel because everyone's tasks start at the same time that goes towards your agenda.
Nice.
So you have to learn how to make time run parallel so that you don't run out of time.
Yes.
So that you're not experiencing burnout because you are going to be working long hours.
Yes.
And you're going to be working every day. There's going to be weeks where you're having no days off. And how is that working for you?
Yes. No.
Mindset.
So I heard you say about the book. You have your own book.
I have a book.
Nice.
You can find
we
it
hear
on.
about that?
Yeah, you can find about it on Amazon. Most online retailers. It's Losing Control to Gain Time, and it's time management for entrepreneurs and busy people.
Okay.
So, you know, I like to say that not all businesses are bringing you money. If you're running a household, it's just like a business. You have to manage the kids and your work schedule and the finances and the shopping and the extracurricular. You've still got multiple agendas and you have to run that just like a business.
Nice.
So every aspect of my life, I run like a business.
Nice.
Because they're all agendas, they all take time and they all have to be managed. So my book helps you to have hands-on, actionable resources and actionable methods to help make your time run parallel.
Nice. What is the title of your book?
Losing Control to Gain Time.
Why losing control to gain time?
Because we are so used to the concept of 9 to 5. I start work at 9, I work Monday to Friday, I finish on the weekend. Sometimes you have to forget everything you've been taught.
Yep.
Forget that, you know, we have 24 hours in a day. You have as much time in the day as you want to have.
I agree.
But how many people and how many processes and how many systems and how much software have you got working towards your target?
Nice. How long did it take you to write this book? I'm thinking about something like that myself.
Okay, well, I'd say altogether about 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah, it wasn't that long. However, I've been doing business development for 20 years.
Okay.
So this was about the knowledge that I've already been giving out in my consultations and in my keynote speeches. Nice. And I just put it into it.
Nice, nice. So can we get hardback copies? Can we get...
It's paperback.
Nice.
Paperback. It's available Amazon. Most online retailers.
Nice.
You could buy it.
Now that sounds good. I'm going to check that one out. And on the last one, Midday Ask is a franchise ownership the smartest way to become self-employed? Nah.
That's an easy answer.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think it's. I don't think so. There's other ways to be self-employed. You know what I mean? There's, as I said, going into a franchise is something you gotta have a passion for and something that you've gotta really want to do. If you're talking self-employed, there's so many other avenues you can go down to be self-employed. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think if the franchise brand is established, sometimes the long-term income can be vast.
Yes.
And that's sometimes appealing. But getting to that stage is difficult because there's so many hidden costs in a franchise.
Indeed.
You've got, you know, obviously you have the franchise fee.
Yep.
And then you have the royalty fee.
Yep.
And the royalty is usually between 5 to 12%. But that's on the gross revenue. That's not on the profit.
Yeah.
So if, for example, your revenue was 25,000, let's just say you have a profit of 3,000.
Yes.
But your royalty is 10%. That's 2,500.
Yeah.
That only gives you a profit of 500. But you've got the other costs because the royalty fee and the buy-in fee aren't the only cost. You have the ordinary business fees of, you know, staff, rent, utilities, licenses, software, etc.
Sure.
But then you have most franchises, especially the more established one, they're going to have a national marketing fund.
Yep.
And you're going to have to pay a contribution towards that. And you don't get a say on how that's spent.
Yep.
And that might not be geared towards your neighborhood. It might not be geared towards your target demographic.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get a choice.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have the fit out or the build out fee at the beginning that is not part of the franchise fee.
Yeah.
And if that needs to be updated in a year through wear and tear, or they do a rebrand, that's an added cost that you have to fork out.
Yeah.
Staff or your own cost, which
Indeed.
is why you don't make any money
in
the first and second year, because you're working for free. The business owner is the last person to get paid.
No, you're right. And that's why the 2 years, they say it will take about 2 years for it to go on. Let's get straight to it, people. I go by the name of Podgy Figures, and I want to thank everybody that's been watching my channel. However, I need you to subscribe to my channel. I need you to press that like button. So it has to be something that you genuinely really want to do. So, and you see the hidden costs. But for those that do want to do it, I hope we gave you a bit of insight on what's going on in the franchise as well. So yeah, it's all good. As I said, I want to thank Ebony for coming today as well, man.
Thank you for having me.
And her sharing her insight and her knowledge on the franchise business. Thank you.